Hi, my name is Steve Corona, and I'm going to be your host for this virtual internship. Today, we are speaking with Jonathan Morales, who is the owner of the Jonathan Morales Allstate Insurance Agency, and he's going to talk a little bit to us about how you too can own your own business. Tell me about your company. Tell me how long you've been in business, and tell me about those first years that you started. Tell me about why you decided to start your own business.
Actually, before I opened up my business, I was a bank manager, and I always wanted to do something on my own. So when we actually opened the office 5 years ago, actually tomorrow's going to be our 5-year anniversary, but we opened October 2015, and it was really, a struggle. Like I was telling you before, like jumping in with no safety net, and kind of going through just like when you start anything new, like you start a new job or you start school, nervous, anxious, no idea how your day is gonna go, and that's essentially how the business, started.
So, what are the most important aspects in owning your own business?
I would say knowing what's important, knowing what's important and what you're doing day to day, what the ultimate goal of the business is, and making sure of who comes first. A lot of times when people open up a business, or even in any type of profession, you kind of get caught up on your day to day, and you have to remember that the main thing is taking care of people, what they need versus, sometimes we'll have people walk in and, I've seen, do I have an appointment? You don't have an appointment. We have, of course, if they need something that takes a little bit longer, we prefer to have an appointment because I don't want people to have to wait, but just making sure people are taken care of,
What is the greatest challenge in your line of work?
The greatest challenge, you actually have to be aware of the highs and the lows. So I guess when we have good months, everybody pats themselves on the back, but also when you have bad months, don't dwell on, the bad months, or, of course you want to celebrate your wins, but also don't dwell on the losses. You got to keep moving on.
Tell me about the essential skills and qualities it takes to run your own insurance agency.
I would really say, to me it's kind of difficult to say, but it's experience. I actually started working when I was 15 years old. I actually started working in a factory. So right after school, I would run home, change, and go to work. And all those experiences, I started young, started early, learned what I did and did not want for myself, how to try to change that, and just went towards the things that I wanted to achieve, and things that I wanted to learn, and really just going with the people that I admired, that they were doing things that I wanted to do, and I would sometimes just kind of go intern or just be an assistant, just to be able to learn and see if that's something truly that I wanted to do.
Is that some good advice for young people, career exploration, to try things just to see if it's a good fit?
I would say so. Just going to see if it is something that you truly like, see what it is day to day. What is that person, what do they wake up and do? I think sometimes, you have these high hopes and dreams and you get into it and find out that really it's not what you thought it was. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, just from my own personal experience, but yeah.
In this line of business, in owning an insurance agency, are there certain levels of education or experience required? Do you need a college degree? Is a college degree helpful or not necessary?
There are some degrees, but that would also help with the experience. But it's a license, a difficult exam that you have to take in order to get licensed. But it's kind of like getting your driver's license. Does that mean that you could, race in the Indy 500? you may be able to drive a vehicle, but it's not the same thing. You don't have the same experience.
What can someone expect to earn in the first year of running an insurance agency?
That's really difficult to say. I mean, if you have customers, lots of customers, then you could do well, but it's really difficult. I mean, there's really no ceiling, but there's also no floor to, for you to be stable. So that's really kind of a difficult question to answer. I've seen people make between 25,000 or in the six figures. So it depends on the person and their goals and their capabilities, really.
Tell me about someone who has been in the field for 5 or 10 years. What might their earning potential be on an annual basis if they've worked really hard and are putting everything into the business?
That's really difficult to say. I would say that they're in the six figures. Really difficult to say because every business is separate. Every business is ran different. It's kind of like asking someone in the household how much electricity do you use. It kind of depends on the individual person. So each agency has their income and expenses. So that's a really difficult question to answer.
So what does an insurance agent do? What are the duties and responsibilities?
Really just taking care of people in regards to possible liabilities that are out there. There's a lot of things that insurance isn't the most exciting conversation that people are eager to have, but really explaining things and how it works, instead of having a guessing game to know if you're covered or not. Every business has different liabilities, and knowing what people get graded on for insurance.
What do people buy insurance for? What are they looking to cover, to protect?
Their house, just in case something were to happen to your house. People do have accidents. Say your house gets, caught on fire or something. Every situation is different, but it's really to protect you, your assets, and your family.
Auto insurance?
Yeah, auto insurance. Well, there's a large variety of types of insurance: auto, home, life. It's a wide range, but the most common is home and auto.
And those are the policies that you're selling a majority of the time, home and auto?
Correct.
Okay. So what's a typical work day or work week like? Is it 5 days a week, 6 days a week, 7 days a week? And how many hours of the day are you working? Is it 4, 8, 12, 16?
Depends on the day, but for the most part, I usually wake up at 4:45. I mean, I guess in regards to work, I arrive to the office about 8 o'clock. Sometimes there's events or things that I go to for networking, or sometimes I have someone that has a question. They have an emergency at home that,
Okay.
They would like for me to come by and take a look. And, I try to take care of people. So sometimes I'll be there from 8 to 8 o'clock at night. Sometimes 8 to 5 is the ideal work schedule, but for some reason it doesn't really always work out.
What is the most important aspect in owning your own insurance agency? I've heard you say several times the phrase, taking care of my clients. Is that one of them? Is that one important aspect in owning your own business?
Yeah, I think that's the main thing, taking care of people. It's not sitting behind a desk. It's being out there, taking care of questions, answering questions that people don't even know that they have, especially young drivers, newlyweds, people starting on their family, people starting out on their business. There's a lot of things that people are not aware of, and that's what we try to bring to attention to try to help them.
How do you measure success in your business? Is it the number of policies that you write? Is it the amount of the policies? Is it the money you bring in? How do you measure success?
Me personally, I measure success by being happy. Am I able to spend time doing the things that I enjoy? I don't really look at it as a job. I come into work, I like what I do. I like talking to people. I like, people coming through the door.
So it's not all about money.
Oh, not at all. I used to think that when I was younger. No, that's not. I've had jobs where, the pay was high, but I never had time to hang out with friends or see my wife. It just it wasn't worth it. So that's actually, I guess now that I'm older, being happy and spending time on things that you like.
So where do you go from here? You're starting your 5th year in business. What are the opportunities for advancement? Do you build a bigger agency, or do you look elsewhere and consider other business opportunities?
For me, it's just probably growing the agency, focusing on having the need or supplying the demand. A lot of times we are very busy, get quite a few calls a day, and just making sure we have the people to be able to serve the clients needed.
So what's the typical career path, for someone considering owning their own agency? What are the steps before that, and where do you go from here? Do you broaden your services to other cities, other states? Tell me about that career path before you were here, and then where you go from here.
Yeah, I guess growing the agency, well, the normal steps is for someone to get licensed in order to be able to sell insurance in their state and the type of insurance they want to sell. Of course, going through training, going through experiences, and every day is day to day. It's not the same. There's different emergencies, different situations that you can only learn from experience. But after time of gathering that experience, some agents do venture out to open up their own office to run things the way that they want. I know a lot of people who are involved in, I'll say, community food drives. They enjoy that. I know some agents that enjoy helping the homeless and creating community events to try to reach certain goals to be able to help. So it kind of varies per person.
You mentioned earlier some networking opportunities. Are there also professional organizations, business clubs, additional degrees that would be helpful in owning an insurance agency?
There is, but I'm not a part of any. So.
Why is that?
I've always been naturally a talkative person. I also, a lot of times, will go to parties or we'll go somewhere, and I make friends everywhere I go. So for the most part, I don't really have time to seek other commitments, because whenever I am a part of something, I want to make sure I'm there 100%, not rushing or running late.
So what advice would you give a young person in middle school or high school who's watching this video and is thinking, I want to be my own boss, and owning an insurance agency sounds like a really exciting career track? What advice would you give them?
I would honestly say go check it out. Go hang out. Don't necessarily look for a job. Go try to see what you could do to help that person, and that way you're, I guess, in the mix, knowing what's going on. I give this example to my kids as well. They're going to be in middle school here soon. But if you want to play volleyball, go try out for volleyball. Don't let anything hold you back. If you have friends that are not interested in it, you'll make new friends by going to the volleyball or basketball or soccer. So,
if we have a young person or two who says, hey, would Mr. Morales allow me to shadow him for a day? Would you allow that?
Absolutely, yeah. Come see what we do.
Final advice, final thoughts about this as a career for somebody.
It's a great career. The main thing is if you like to help people, take care of people, that's my main drive, my main focus. But if you like to help people, this is a great career choice.